Okay, chapter 13 and 14, this is the last unit of the text. Chapter 13 is based on capitalization, and chapter 14 is based upon numerical consistencies and how to use numbers in a sentence. So starting with chapter 13, let's go ahead and I usually start with the pretest, but I'm going to go ahead and I might finish with it rather than begin with it. The first part of the chapter are some things that you definitely already know. Beginning of a sentence, capitalize the first word. Okay? Always capitalize the pronoun I. Other pronouns are not capitalized. Why is this the case? Well, it could be because of the use of L. Some of the older typewriters didn't have all the characters on them either, and so to always designate that you're talking about a pronoun, they would use the letter I capitalized. So that's the possible link as to why only that pronoun is capitalized. Proper nouns, capitalize them. The only time that you don't capitalize a noun is if it's a common reference to a proper noun, and it's just a generic term for person, place, thing, object, and so on and so forth. But proper nouns, specific names of persons, places, schools, streets, parks, buildings, holidays, events, months, days, nicknames, agreements, websites, software programs, apps, games, historical periods, and so forth. So Sandra Day O'Connor is capitalized. It's a specific person's name, and what's not capitalized is the fact that she's a judge. So the Supreme Court is capitalized right there, which is a common noun. New South China Mall, Golden Resources Mall, that's a specific location, but these are the largest shopping malls in the world which are not capitalized. Pasadena City College, name of a college, and Dunwoody High School, all of those are capitalized because that's a specific institution of learning. But a community college and a high school, those are general references to those titles and are not capitalized. Specific streets, Abbey Road, Baker Street are both capitalized, but these are famous streets in London, which streets is not capitalized here. Of course, London is. And then on and on. Chrysler Building, Empire State Building, those are specific buildings, but they are famous buildings in New York City, so buildings is not capitalized. Okay, the next page. Okay, proper adjectives. But if you have an adjective, American is always going to be capitalized. English is always going to be capitalized. So, but whenever you have an adjective and a noun to go along with it, if it's derived from a proper noun, make sure that you use capitalization like a Freudian slip from Freud, who came up with this particular method. So therefore, slip is not capitalized, but Freudian is. British rock, British is capitalized, but rock is not. Swiss cheese is capitalized, not the cheese, just the Swiss. But don't capitalize those adjectives originally derived from proper nouns that now have become common adjectives without capitals through usage. One of them is going to be kind of interesting because if we don't do that with Swiss cheese, why do we do it with French fries? I know. I see the looks on your face right now. It's like, that's a good question. So I don't get it either. But French fries is not capitalized, but Swiss on Swiss cheese is. And then, of course, China dishes, over the use of that particular word, China is no longer capitalized. And Arabic numerals, Arabic is no longer capitalized with that one either. Okay, geographic locations. Capitalize the names of specific places such as continents, countries, states, cities, counties, mountains, valleys, lakes, rivers, seas, oceans, geographical regions, neighborhoods, and subdivisions. Capitalize the word city, county, and state only when they follow proper nouns. Okay, then we're going to learn a little bit later that you're not going to capitalize city, state, and county based upon a certain criteria. But for now, let's see if we can find one where we do. Barnstable County, Monroe County, those are specific counties. They're capitalized. We could talk about Dewey County in Oklahoma, which we capitalize, or Oklahoma County, which is capitalized. Canadian County in Oklahoma is capitalized. But if I said the counties of Dewey, Oklahoma, and Canadian, since counties comes before the name of the counties, counties would not be capitalized. Of course, you capitalize the names of states like Oklahoma, but if I said have you ever been to the state of Oklahoma? With the word state coming before Oklahoma, state is not capitalized. And that's what this next part is about. Okay, North America, Africa, Asia, all of those are continents that are capitalized. Lakes, Lake Superior, Lake Tahoe is capitalized, Snake River, Amazon River, Sea of Cortez, Baltic Sea. The only thing that's not capitalized is the small prepositional phrase. Preposition, I guess I should say, with the word of. And then Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean are capitalized, Pacific Northwest, Great Plains. Both of those are geographical regions which are capitalized. Neighborhoods, Harlem neighborhood, Chinatown, Georgetown, those are neighborhoods, so they're capitalized. And subdivisions would be like Pelican Bay, Arbor Creek would be capitalized as well. Okay, down here at the bottom, don't capitalize city, county, or state when they come before unless they're part of the title. Okay, first of all, I spent 2 weeks in the city of Gainesville. City comes before Gainesville, and it's not associated with the word Gainesville, so it's not capitalized when it comes before. Or I spent 2 weeks in the state of Oklahoma. State would not be capitalized. But look at this. There's a city in California called City of Industry. So if I said in the City of Industry, since that's part of the title, it's capitalized there. Let's see. State of Wisconsin, state's not capitalized, but look, they capitalized state of Nebraska right here because it's the name of a website. The website for the great state capital of Nebraska, state of Nebraska, that's a specific title for a website. That's what makes state capitalized there. Organizational names are capitalized. Also, brand names are capitalized unless a company chooses not to. For example, Apple's infamous iPhone. iPhone has lowercase I and it's italicized with a capital P. So you spell it the way that the companies want you, or you identify it the way that the company wants you to on brands. But organizational names are generally capitalized unless they choose not to do it. If you're in question, look them up. Look up their website for clarification. Okay, generally do not capitalize committee, company, association, board, or other shortened name forms when they're used to replace full organizational names. If these short names, however, are preceded by the word the and are used in formal or legal documents, such as a contract or bylaw or minutes, they may be capitalized. So if I just randomly mentioning a committee, we need to form a committee, or we need to have some bylaws established to document all of our discussions, then it's not capitalized. But if I'm actually producing minutes of a meeting for a committee, then I could say the, with the word the in for it, the capital committee decided in favor of the proposition. Then committee would be capitalized in that particular case. So here's, does the company offer any on-site child care? The word company, even though it's preceded by the word the, is considered to be informal, and we're not going to capitalize the word company in this particular case. If the company was the way that we referred to our business, and I said, the company decided to do this, and it's in the minutes of a meeting, then company would be capitalized in that particular case. Let's see. Military terms used alone, they're considered generic and are not capitalized. So Juanita can't decide whether she wants to enlist in the Army or the Navy. Since it's used as a general reference to it, lowercase letters. Academic courses and degrees, whenever you just mention I'm taking accounting and marketing courses, then accounting and marketing is not capitalized because it's a generic reference to those particular types of courses. But if I say I enrolled in Marketing 2103, then marketing would be capitalized because it's a title in that case. So as I mentioned here, Marina took accounting 181, English 122, and marketing 265. Marketing, English, and English is always capitalized, but accounting and marketing is capitalized because it's part of a title, precedes a number. Here it's lowercase because it's just general reference. Marina excelled in her accounting, English, and business marketing classes last semester. English, again, is always capitalized. Okay, I love this one right here. All finance majors must take business English. That's the name of the course. But it's not used as a title. It's used as a general reference. So business is not capitalized, but of course English is. So you must take business English and business law courses. General reference to the courses, again, English is always capitalized. Or Spanish, if that be the case. Okay, as far as academic degrees, they're generally not capitalized unless they're used as a title. Abbreviations, of course, are always capitalized. So Julie Purcell earned an AA, a BA, and an MS degree before her 30th birthday. So no periods to separate them. They do have commas to set them off for 3 items in sequence. And then, let's see, here it's used, here's an abbreviation, Mareem Balik. If you ever watched Big Bang Theory, by the way, she's a PhD, by the way. Did you know that? It's offset with capital P, little h, capital D. Earned her degree in neuroscience at UCLA and now plays a neuroscientist on the television show in italicis, The Big Bang Theory. Matthew hopes to earn a bachelor's and master's degree in business administration. And bachelor's and master's is showing possession of the word degree, so it has an apostrophe in it, but it's lowercase. Here we have Elizabeth Wyman, comma, Doctor of Engineering, comma, served as consultant on the project. So here the degree is basically referring back to or being used as a title to identify who Elizabeth Wyman is. Okay, then seasons. This will finish up level 2. As far as seasons are concerned, whenever you talk about fall, spring, winter, summer, autumn, they're not capitalized unless they're used as a title. Our annual retreat is held each spring. It's not capitalized. But J. Crew's Spring 2017 sale, associated with a year, so it's used as a title, so it is capitalized in that particular case. Lynn hopes to enroll for the Spring 2017 semester. Spring is capitalized because it's a title for the 2017 year. Okay, this moves into level 2. And for business correspondence, if anytime that you're creating a subject line, you don't need to capitalize unless it's the first word, a, an, and the, and small prepositions that have probably 3 or fewer letters in it, or conjunctions like and, but, or, nor. So those don't need to be capitalized, but really this is not correct. If subject is all capped, then you want to capitalize everything that follows. So that's really not correct the way that they wrote that there. But if they put capital S and then a little UBJECT, colon, then this would be correct. Monthly marketing meeting on March 19. On is not capitalized because of its small number of characters, and it's just kind of used as a connector, as a preposition. Dear Mr. Robinson, all of those components are capitalized in a salutation, and a colon follows. Then see, to members of the interviewing group, this is a salutation, so it's addressing the members, so it's capitalized, and then of the group, that's capitalized as well. And then sincerely yours, by the way, only the first word of a complimentary close is capitalized. So if I said very truly yours, only very is capitalized, but truly yours is not. Sincerely yours, only sincerely is capitalized, yours is not. Only the first word of multiple worded complimentary closes. Okay, titles of people, when they come before the person's name, they are capitalized. Mr. and Mrs. Gary Smith, Professor Franco Guidon, Dr. Janet Black. Sales figures were submitted by Budget Director McGee. Notice the title immediately before the name is capitalized. This next part's going to blow you away a little bit. And Vice President Anderson. So the title before the person's name is capitalized. We're going to look at something a little bit different on the next page. Admiral Paul Zumthman is the only active duty 4-star officer in the U.S. Coast Guard. So that is the military title. Rabbi Yehuda Kritsky, Archbishop Timothy Dewan, and Reverend Cecil Williams. Those are religious titles immediately before the name. Again, we're going to look at it a different direction when it's not a title in just a moment. Here we expect President Barack Obama. It comes before Barack Obama, so it is capitalized. His Aunt Susan and Uncle Jim. Anytime a first name is associated with an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, a father, a mother, then you capitalize that title. Okay, let's see. Onlookers waiting for Prince William. There's a title for William and Duchess Kate Middleton to arrive. Nobility, so it's capitalized when it's used as a title. Comes before the person's name. Now, titles followed by a positive. So remember, a positive renames a noun or a pronoun. This is going to mess with you a little bit. Here, notice it's not Professor Marcella Kelly. It's only one professor, and then this positive renames who the noun is. Professor's not capitalized now. University employees ask their president, Peter Garcia. Peter Garcia renames president. President is not capitalized. Reva Hillman discovered that her uncle, Paul Hillman renames her uncle, and it's not capitalized there. So positives following the title are not capitalized. Here's some other ones. Margot Drucker, Vice President of Grubhub. Notice that this positive renaming the person is not capitalized. Met with Mary Williams, Director of Marketing Research. Director of Marketing Research director is not capitalized, but the department is. Kay Carver, manager of Park Tavern. Name of the tavern is capitalized, but manager, renaming it, is not. Barack Obama, here's where it's going to mess with you, lowercase president. This is becoming more and more popular because this at one time was not the case. Regardless of how it was used in the sentence, president was always capitalized. I'd kind of like to go back to that actually. But it's not capitalized according to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, nor is it capitalized according to the Chicago Manual of Style. Those two are the sources as to why we are not capitalizing it here, because those are our two main references that we're using. So President of the United States, our country, is capitalized, but the position is not unless we put the title before the name of the person. John Roberts, Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court. Okay, that legislative body is capitalized, but the position is not, since it's used as a positive to rename John Roberts. Let's see. The following individuals will make presentations at this year's Social Media Marketing World Conference. In this particular case, this positive is capitalized because it's used as a title. Nicole Kelly, President, SME Digital. Cliff Ravenshaft, founder of podcastanswerman.com. So all of those components, since those are all titles and persons' names associated with the titles, all of those parts are capitalized. Okay, now when we use a position to refer to someone, that's not capitalized unless it's written in official minutes or something that's legally binding. So neither the president nor the general counsel of the company could be reached for comment. President nor general counsel is capitalized. This was marketing plan was developed by director of marketing, referring to also sales manager. Those positions referring to a person, they're not capitalized. The president conferred with the attorney general and the secretary of defense. This president is obviously referring to the president of the United States. Not capitalized because it's not a legal document. So it's lowercase, attorney general is lowercase, and secretary of defense is lowercase. That's going to mess with a lot of you. Mayor of Princetown, at the reception, the mayor of Princetown, Provincetown, spoke with the governor of West Virginia. Notice that mayor and governor is not capitalized. Now, I would capitalize it if I said Mayor Jim Williams, Governor Mary Fallon. Then it would be capitalized. Professor is capitalized here because it's a noun in direct address. What do you think I can do, professor, to improve my grade? Now it's capitalized because it's a noun in direct address. Okay, titles and business correspondence. Yes, you capitalize them then. This is on an envelope or on an inside address of a message. So Dr. Chrisanne Knox, capitalized Director of Marketing and Communications, Austin Community College, Middle Ficksville Road, Austin, Texas. Very sincerely yours, only the first word is capitalized. And Stephen Fenton, Comptroller, since that's a title, that's part of this signature block right here, Comptroller is capitalized. Okay, family titles. Whenever I mentioned to you earlier that if you said my Aunt Susan, my Aunt Pat, my Uncle Ed, whenever, regardless of what I have introducing, if I use a first name, I'm going to capitalize Aunt or my cousin William. I'm going to capitalize cousin. I'm going to capitalize father and mother when a first name is associated with it. This area right here says do not capitalize family titles used with possessive pronouns and possessive nouns. But a first name is not being used. We are taking my aunt and my uncle. Now if I said later, we are taking my Aunt Brenda and my Uncle Skip. When a first name is used, then those titles are capitalized. But here, they are not whenever they don't have a first name associated with them. Did you hear that his father met Adam's cousin at the sales conference? Cousin and father is not capitalized, but if I said my cousin Adam, then cousin would be capitalized. What do you think about my decision, Dad? Now we have a noun in direct address, and so it's capitalized. So some awkward capitalization schemes. I definitely recommend reading this information over to try to kind of clarify it in your own mind, because if it becomes natural, then you won't have to look it up in the future. Okay, any type of numbered or lettered items. In other words, if you have a flight or a list or a form, any number that's associated with it, capitalize it because it's being used as a title. Flight, 7401. Exit, 12. Volume 2, Appendix A. Watch this. Form, 72T. Instructions are on lowercase page 6, line 12. Don't capitalize the titles that are considered to be lower level titles. Chapter, capitalize it. Volume, capitalize it. Appendix, capitalize it. But don't capitalize page, paragraph, line, size, verse, or vitamins. Don't capitalize page 5, paragraph 2, line 15, verse 36, or vitamin B. Only B is capitalized in vitamin B. Okay. The building title is capitalized. It's a major designation. It's Gate E64, so Gate is capitalized as a major destination at the airport. Then points on the compass, north, south, east, west, northwest, southwest, southeast. and so on. Any point on the compass is not capitalized, but if it's a specific region you're referring to, then capitalize it. So if you're referring to the Middle East or the Far East, it's capitalized. The East Coast, West Coast, it's capitalized. The Midwest, the Southeast, those are general specifications already designated by someone else as a specific region. The country's divided up into those designations, so it's capitalized. A Northern Hemisphere, a Southern Hemisphere, those are capitalized. Easterners, Southerners, referring to people from a specific region, are capitalized. North Georgia, South Georgia, Western Oklahoma, Central Oklahoma, Eastern Oklahoma, Northwest Oklahoma. Those are capitalized when used as a specific region that you're referring to. Don't capitalize those directions whenever you're using them as points on the compass. I plan to travel to the northwestern part of the state. Northwestern part and state is not capitalized. To find the conference facility, drive north, not capitalized. Highway 13 is capitalized. And turn east, the direction on the compass is not capitalized, on Grizzly Peak Road, which is capitalized. Consisting of all states south of the Mason-Dixie line, directional, it's a point on the compass, so it's not capitalized. The southern part of California is prone to wildfires. Southern part is, you may think of that as a particular region, but it's not being designated as a region in this particular case. It's a directional location in reference to where those wildfires will typically occur. Okay, let's see. Departments, divisions, offices, agency, and committees, those are capitalized when they're used as titles, such as the 101st Airborne Division of the U.S. Army is nicknamed the Screaming Eagles. A word or group of words that's referred to a certain group is capitalized. Our IT Support Center, that's a division or a department, it's capitalized. Office of Personnel Management oversees the federal government. Federal government is not capitalized, but the office is. Bureau of Labor Statistics is a government agency, it's capitalized. Phil Angelides chaired the Financial Crisis Inquiry Commission. That's a specific department, a specific committee, so it's capitalized. But if I were just mentioning, we need to take some steps to determine if a financial crisis has occurred, then financial crisis would not be capitalized because it's not a part of anything. Schools and departments within schools are capitalized. Like the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania is always listed as having one of the country's best MBA programs. MBA is capitalized, Wharton School of Business is capitalized, University of Pennsylvania is capitalized. Okay, I'll be sending my resume to the Human Resources departments of several companies. Since that is a known department and it doesn't have a specific reference to it, it's not capitalized, but if I send you to the Human Resources Department located in the Administration Building, then it is capitalized. Okay, government terms, federal, state, nation, government is not capitalized. The president, lowercase, should do everything possible to uphold our nation's values. Product names are capitalized, unless it's like the iPhone, which is lowercase I, capital P. The common noun to which it refers to is not capitalized, like tissues, jeans, swab, bandage, bleach, app, notes, tape, coffee, crayons, or slow cooker. But the actual brand name itself is capitalized. Then this is going to be a repeat area, literary and artistic titles. Remember that the main item, the main thing is always italicized, and then any subcategories are placed in quotation marks. For example, Burton J. Malkiel's A Random Walk Down Main Street. That's the title. The Time-Tested Strategy for Successful Investing, a book. The name of the book is actually in italics. Okay, The Dangers of a Messy Desk, appearing in Forbes. Forbes is italics, but notice that's the name of the article in the magazine. It's in quotation marks and it capitalizes the major parts of it, with the exception of the prepositions of and the article a, an, and the, and then 3 or fewer characters for prepositions, and coordinating conjunctions, if those are included as well. Okay, then the last part is actually a little bit easier. It summarizes it. Okay, beginning words. This is why I said from your test on that one of those questions, whenever you had the rule that follows a colon, that you capitalize it. I believe it mentions that. Let's see. Right here. Here, rule following colon. Capitalize it. Either they conflicted or...
So those questions were generated, it's not something you put together?
Correct.
Okay.
Not that good.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Whenever you have items, a list, capitalize the first word of each of your items in lists. And of course, whenever you have a quotation, quoted materials should start with a capital letter. The only time that you wouldn't is if you split. If you said, you must expect great things of yourself, said Michael Jordan, before you can do them. And then that last part of the quotation would not be capitalized if you kind of change the order of it. Let's see, independent clauses all begin with a capital letter. Okay, laws, bills, acts, treaties, and amendments are all capitalized. Celestial bodies should be capitalized when they're being referred to as a celestial body, but if they're used as a general reference, then you don't capitalize them. The examples is, why on earth didn't you apply sunscreen in the bright sun? So earth is being used as a general reference there, therefore it's not capitalized. But the planets closest to the sun, capitalized, are Mercury, Mars, and Earth. Those are specific celestial bodies that they're referencing. So they are definitely capitalized. Okay, ethnic, cultural, language, and religious references should definitely be capitalized, but there are some rules that govern the way that they're used in a couple of areas. In Hawaii, Asian and Western cultures merge. I think all of us would agree that those are capitalized. Both English and Hebrew are spoken by Jews in Israel. I think we all agree that languages are capitalized, along with a specific ethnicity and country. Native Americans and Latinos turned out to support their candidates. I think we'll agree that the ethnicities are capitalized. Then we hyphenate ethnic terms when they're used as adjectives, but we don't hyphenate them when they're not used as adjectives. For example, used as nouns. Examples of this, Asian American communities. What kind of communities? Asian American ones. We capitalize both sides of the hyphen. But if we turn it around and say many Asian Americans place great value on higher education, since it's not being used as an adjective but as a noun, then it's not hyphenated. Okay, finalizing the chapter. Fragile, when you have the word, words that follow marked or stamped should be italicized and capitalized. Although the package was stamped italicized fragile, fragile is capitalized, the postal carrier threw it into the back of the truck. The thick envelope was marked, stamped or marked, and then in italics, confidential is capitalized. Okay, special uses of the personal titles and terms. Whenever something is being used in an official capacity according to the specifications set forth earlier, and it's in the organization's minutes, bylaws, or other official documents, then you can capitalize it. So on a test, it would say this appears, the following statement appears in the minutes of an organization. Then you'll know to handle it a little bit differently. So here, these are in the bylaws. It identifies what this is being, where it's being said or stated. Title appearing in bylaws. Now the controller will be capitalized. Your positions are capitalized if they are documented in something that could be used as a legal document. By vote of the stockholders, the president, now is capitalized, is empowered to declare a stock dividend. President of the company, in this particular case, is capitalized because it's a title appearing in an annual report, something that could be legally binding. Then your positions are capitalized. If I use the word committee, committee would be capitalized if it were in the minutes of a meeting or in an annual report or something that could be considered legal. Okay, anytime that you use the words ex, elect, late, or former, you generally hyphenate it, and then if it's associated with a proper noun, that proper noun is still capitalized, but the prefix is not. But you do go ahead and hyphenate it in those cases. We want to hear ex-Governor O'Malley. So X is not capitalized, but it is hyphenated, but governor is, since it's used as the title representing O'Malley, and mayor-elect. Now, elect is a second word, so do I capitalize it? No. Mayor-elect, lowercase, Rawlings, Blake Blake, Rawlings Blake, there we go, a hyphenated word, speak at the symposium. The late President Reagan has been honored. Late is not capitalized. Former President George W. Bush, not capitalized with the word former. Okay, that leads us to the FAQs. The FAQs summarize some of the things that we've already talked about today, by the way. I've noticed that in recent news articles that some diseases are capitalized and others are not. Look it up on a website if you're in question. Like Parkinson's disease is hyphenated because it's showing possession of the word disease. And it's capitalized because it's reflective of a person's name. Same thing with Alzheimer's. But if you had mumps or measles, notice that those are not capitalized. Today, everyone seems to use the word Google as a generic verb. You should Google, there's the verb right there, your name to see what comes up. Should this word be capitalized when it's used as a verb? No. But look what they said. Google is very particular in the way that their name is used, and depending on where you're publishing your documents, they have issued cease and desist letters to people that used Google as a generic term. Very protective of their company name. So if you work for an organization that's publishing major documents through social media and whatnot, be careful with that particular word. Probably avoid it if you can. Instead of saying Google it, just tell them to look it up. Okay, here's some others. Let's see, geographic indications in Europe. Are those capitalized? Generally so. For example, Gorgonzola cheese, Colombian coffee. Coffee isn't capitalized, but Colombian is. Scotch whiskey. Whiskey isn't capitalized, but Scotch is. And then several other examples. This next one. Lately, I've noticed capitalization in some company and product names. For example, is the online auction site written as eBay, eBay, or eBay? How can I ever keep these company names straight? Look it up. It's actually lowercase e, capital B, lowercase ay. But look it up online to determine the correct capitalization. Okay, I've had trouble capitalizing president when it refers to the President of the United States. It used to be capitalized. Why isn't it now? Because two major sources, Merriam-Webster Dictionary and Chicago Manual of Style, no longer capitalize it unless it's used as the title. And also, they do use it if it's used in something that's considered to be legally binding, such as an annual report, minutes, bylaws, and whatnot. Then it's capitalized in that particular case. I work for a state agency and I'm not sure how to capitalize or hyphenate in this sentence. State agencies must make forms available to non-English speaking applicants. That is correct. Remember the word non, pre, dis, and a none. Remember that prefix that we've used in the past? We don't hyphenate it unless it can be misused. Whenever you have a capitalized word like English that follows it, then apply the hyphenation to it. So this is correct the way that that's written. How do you spell marshal as used in the Grand Marshal of the Rose Parade? That is correct. M-A-R-S-H-A-L. If you want to talk about after the riots, let's see, martial law was declared. That was what I was looking for. Martial law would be M-A-R-T-I-A-L. Okay, we'll close up with these last 3 items. My boss has just placed me in charge of editing a new company newsletter, which will be published bi-monthly. I hate to admit it, but I was afraid to ask my boss what bi-monthly means. Does that mean that the newsletter will come out twice a month? Oh, goodness, no, you're in luck. Bi means every other. So it could be bi-monthly, bi-weekly. So if it's bi-weekly, it's every other week. If it's bi-monthly, it's every other month. But if you wanted something to be published twice a week or twice a month, you would use semi-weekly. If it's semi-weekly, it's twice a week. If it's semi-monthly, it's twice a month. Is the word makeup written as 1 or 2? It's both. If it's a noun or an adjective, it's 1 word. I applied my makeup earlier this morning. 1 word as a noun. Let's see. Are there provisions for a makeup exam? What kind of an exam? A makeup exam. It's 1 word. It's used as an adjective. But use 2 words when used as a verb. I want to make up that exam by Friday. As a verb, use 2 words. And then finally, is it okay to use contractions in business writing? Could have, should have, would have? Yes, if it doesn't seem awkward for you to do. Any questions? Okay, I will see you Thursday.